Sing by Numbers, a program for developing musicianship quickly and simply by Matthew Arndt. Introduction, Musicianship, Scales, and Notation. Musicianship takes more than showing up for services and rehearsals as time allows, although that is half of the equation. For millennia, it has been recognized that musicianship is completed through reflective awareness of how the sounds you are hearing and making fit together, so that you can sing by your imagination, not just your memory. If you rely solely or primarily on your memory, you will have no standard of accuracy for either your memory or the sounds you make, which means that you cannot evaluate and improve your singing. And you will be unable to sight read new pieces, which you have to do frequently in church. The Sing by Numbers program that I will describe in these videos is a fast, simple method for developing reflective awareness of singing in church. The program is centered on a single practice tool, singing the numbers 1 through 7 for the 7 different notes of a scale called scale degrees. A lot of people use syllables called solfege, and if you've already learned that is fine to use instead, but I've come to think that scale degree numbers are best. The point of singing scale degree numbers is not to have a conceptual understanding of an abstract pattern, but to give definition to the sounds you hear and sing, so that you can produce them in your aural imagination, your inner ear. Singing from your inner ear is essential for church music. Through singing scale degree numbers, scales become structures you build in your inner ear, move through, and return to every time you sing. We agreed to build them the same way so that we can harmonize with each other, but no one can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. In this way, you focus and multiply your efforts, because every piece you learn is a matter of going to work at your familiar workplace, rather than every piece being a mission to an unfamiliar place. Then, once you have developed your inner ear, and it does not take that long to get pretty far, people will marvel at how well you sing and compliment you everywhere you go, and you will be embarrassed because you will think, all it takes is counting to 7. I must be faking it, or they must be flattering me. First, a few specifics about scales. A scale is a series of notes used in a piece or passage. Western scales count up, while Georgian scales, interestingly, count down. In a sense, a scale works like layers of a magnetic field with different frequencies of vibration, as illustrated here with the scale degrees of the first phrase of the Jesus prayer. Lord. Different points in the scale have different tendencies or magnetic poles. In general, in Western music, 5, 3, and especially 1 feel more stable, while 2, 4, 6, and 7 are more unstable. Sing the first phrase of the Jesus prayer with me, first on words and then with numbers, as shown above. Lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you feel how some notes are more stable? Tap your foot every other note if you have to, so that your foot falls on 1 or 3. Lord. In another sense, a scale is like a staircase where the stable notes are pillars and the unstable notes are arches, as shown here, except like Escher's staircase, it loops around to the starting point as it ascends and descends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The unique pulls on each degree are related partly to the unique set of distances to surrounding notes. These distances depend in turn on which of 2 main kinds of scales are being used, major and minor. Compare the beginning of the Jesus prayer in a minor scale with the beginning of Bless the Lord in a major scale, starting on the same note for each of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3. Do you hear how they use the same notes, except 3 is higher in the second case? When 3 is lower in minor scales, the distance with 2 is a half step, the smallest increment between degrees in conventional music. When 3 is higher in major scales, the distance is a whole step, 2 half steps. In major scales, for example with Bless the Lord, the half steps are 3/4 and 7/1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/1. In minor scales, for example with the Jesus Prayer, they are 2, 3, and 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/1. Or 7/1. Again, the objective here is not memorizing the numerical patterns of these steps. It is to build up in your inner ear the structures that are defined by these numerical patterns. Now, a word about notation. You can form major and minor scales on every one of the 12 notes commonly used in Western music, but it is not necessary that you be able to spell every scale with specific letter names, A sharp, etc., or write them with notation. However, it is necessary that you be able to trace the visual shape of a scale on the staves, the lines and spaces, so that you can match the notes you read and the pitches you are given at the beginning of a piece to structures in your inner ear. For this purpose, you need to know the general letter names of the notes, A, B, C, etc., as shown here. These letter names also serve as a backdrop against which you can switch from one scale to another, as happens not infrequently in church music. G is marked by the G clef, a stylized G, and F is marked by the F clef, a stylized F. Note that C below the G clef is the same as C above the F clef. Now that you know how to locate notes with the same letter name, observe how the main scales we use and their main chord fit on the staves. There are only a few. You will notice that the shape is exactly the same in every case, just shifted up or down, and or with a different standard signature, the signs at the left. And notice that the stable notes 1, 3, 5 are always on successive lines or successive spaces. So, G major, G minor, F major, E minor, D major, D minor. Now, there are many details to the standard signatures, but it is not necessary to memorize them because a scale may be used with or without a signature. Just look and listen for what note is the main note, i.e. 1, and whether the scale is major or minor, and follow the shape of the scale from 1. It really is that simple. So, to review, musicianship includes reflective awareness, and reflective awareness includes awareness of scale degrees, which you can number to build that awareness. Next up, I will present the first exercise, singing scales. Until then, so long.